Alex, Rishi Sunak starts the year by claiming to have cleared the backlog of, quote, legacy asylum cases, which is something he promised to do in December 2022. There has been a lot of creative accounting here, hasn't there?
Yeah, not so much creative accounting as creative rebranding. So 35,000 cases have been deemed non-substantive.
What does that mean?
17,000 were deemed withdrawn, which can be when the Home Office basically doesn't get a reply to a letter. But obviously those can be revived, like...
That's 50. That's half of them. 52,000, nearly half of them. Non-substantive and withdrawn.
Yeah, there's more. 4,500 cases have been labelled complex, which apparently takes them out of the backlog.
56,000.
The legacy backlog, which applies only to the 22nd of...
All right, okay.
Yep. And the asylum backlog itself has been rebranded. Any cases after June 2022 are now the flow backlog.
Oh.
The flow backlog.
Yeah.
That sounds suspiciously sewagey.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Don't link it in the public mind to the water companies. It's Richie. It's a bad idea.
In fairness, I think this is the most relatable aspect of Sunak ever. His approach to his to-do list is something I can really get on board with. Where you go, well, that was never going to happen. I shouldn't have put that on. That's basically done. So this is basically done. This is definitely done.
Yeah. The dog has nearly been walked. The dishes are in the sink.
The dog walk was too complex.
Yes.
I think 2024 could be the year of reclassifying things off your to-do list.
Yeah,
right? You
basically.
never actually have to do them.
Yeah.
You just complex. That email is too complex.
To add a shade of darkness, the most important figure released in those stats is that deaths by suicide among asylum seekers have doubled in that reporting period.
Yeah. So it's, behind the
But that
inanity,
still gets them off the backlog, you see, so...
It's just horrible. The backlog of new applications is now, I think, bigger than the backlog of legacy applications, isn't it? It's in the same ballpark.
Well, look, it's a nonsense to be talking about stuff like that. So the only measure that matters is the rolling total of undecided applications, right?
Yes.
That's the only measure by which governments, generally speaking, not just with asylum, but in any kind of administrative context where a decision is required, the only way to judge how behind you are is by the rolling total of cases you still have to decide. And the rolling total of cases is about 110,000, which is pretty near the total it was in June 2022. So, the government has barely made a dent. They will present it favourably to themselves, because if we've learned one thing about Sunak in the last year is that he has no compunction about lying. He actually lies with the best of them. He's been slapped down by the Statistical Authority several times, and he just keeps rolling this stuff out. His big problem is actually Reform UK.
Yeah.
Because their lever for getting in those seats, for taking votes away from them, is that the Conservatives have betrayed you over immigration. And so in his presser today, Richard Tice was banging this drum really quite a lot. That, they're lying about the statistics when they say they've cleared the backlog. Really, they have done no such thing. So they will face opposition from GB News and Reform UK.
So what score are you giving this for proactive news presentation and turd polishing?
Reflecting on what's gone before, I would say 7 out of 10. Knowing how much worse lies ahead, I would say 5 out of 10, just to give ourselves room for this dramatic arc to develop. Because I think it will get a lot fucking worse, by the way.